Ready. Play.
I'm going to ask you that question again, if it's all right. Lloyd, a random question to begin with. Have you ever been on Wikipedia or like the ATP website to check some stats out about yourself, and you've said, "Oh, I think I'm taller or shorter than that," for example?
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure that my height is correct on the ATP site.
Okay.
But then again, who knows what my actual height is?
Well,
It's
Lloyd,
just what I believe,
I
right?
just asked you how tall you are, and
Yeah.
you seem to hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, I believe I'm 194.
Okay.
But who knows if that's the right answer?
Let's talk some other stats. Let's talk about your ranking right now. I mean, you're outside the top 100, but you've been much higher. Do you think you can get back to sort of where you were a couple of years ago or a few years ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough journey for me,
Yeah.
post surgery and everything. Like, came back strong, felt really confident, really positive. Had a few other setbacks, started getting injured in different places, and kind of just spiraled, you know. But you know, I've been healthy now for a while, to say the least, and just been working on my game, trying to, you know, really take a step back and just say, I'm the player that I am now. How do I get back, or how do I get to a certain ranking? Instead of looking at it like, oh, I was over there, how do we get back? I'm building again to reach what I know I've done.
When you say you take a step back, what does that mean? I mean, like, obviously come to play challenges for start, but is
Yeah.
that what do you mean by that? Or
I think it was a huge mental step back in a way, because once you've been at a certain ranking or played at a certain stage, that's what you still envision in your head, right? So for me, it was like, okay, my ranking was almost 200, you know? I'm like, okay, I'm playing challenges now, maybe getting into Grand Slam qualifying. This is my situation. And why am I there? I'm playing that level of tennis. That's how it is, right?
doesn't bother you?
It does, I wouldn't say bother me, but it did affect me, you know, in a certain way. And I took that step back and said, listen, this is who I am right now. This is where my tennis level is at. And I sat down with the team and we decided, okay, how do we, I'm a player, I've never been at the top. How are we going to reach there? Instead of pursuing in a fashion where I was like, okay, this is what used to work, this is what was the way. We're finding a new way. That's kind of been the approach.
When you talk to your team about these kind of things, is it how easy, how receptive are you to sometimes maybe what you might see as bad news? Or, I mean, there's always this player-coach dynamic in tennis, which is quite unique, where, I mean, you're still the boss of that situation, right? How does that work?
Yeah, the thing is, you need to have people around you that you trust and value their opinions and everything, you know, what they're telling you a lot, because in the end of the day, I believe in them and I believe they're the right people to get me where I want to be. Whether they've been with me in the past, whether they're new add-ons or whatever the situation may be, is I need them to reach where I want to reach. And now, having said that, like, yeah, it's hard to sometimes switch off that old person and try and be, you know, this building from something else. But it also does come with a lot of experience and a lot of things I've learned and a lot of things where if you're a newer player, maybe you wouldn't know. So there's a lot of positives, a lot of kinks around it. But it's been a fun process, and the last couple of months has really reflected on what I've been trying to do and really been trying to find, you know, this new inspired level of tennis.
You talk about where you want to be. It's a very difficult question, I know, but where is that? Where is that? Is that, you know, is it top 50? Is it making main draws? Is it winning a challenger? What is it right now?
For me, it's always kind of been the same thing. I'm not a ranking really guy. Like, my ranking has been good, it's been bad, it's been all over. For me, I want to win ATP titles. That's been my goal, my dream. That's what I want to do. I want to win some ATP titles, and that's what I'll keep working towards until I reach that. That's for sure.
Is there a title? Is there a place? I mean, there's no ATP titles at least at the moment in South Africa. So, you know, is there a location you go, I think this could be, you know, I remember you beating Rafa, for example, in Washington a few years ago in 2021. You know, is this a part of the season that you kind of build up towards, for example?
For sure, for sure. I mean, for me, a very special one is Dubai.
Okay.
I played a final there a couple of years back. Was heartbreaking. I've been living in Dubai for 3 years, so it kind of feels like, you know, the home event of, my hometown. So that is also one that really favors, the conditions really favors me, things like this. And there's a couple of other weeks where I feel really comfortable. I feel like I can play my best tennis there. So there's definitely a couple of weeks that I would say like, okay, these are the kind of weeks that I would really want to hone in on and try and win these weeks. But I feel like tennis is funny in that way. It always comes at a place or in a way that you least expect it,
If Medvedev can win Rome, then anything can happen.
If Medvedev wins Rome back to back, then, I believe.
Yeah, right.
No, I actually think he's going to do it. I have a funny feeling.
Really?
He got through a really tough one last night.
Yeah.
Hamad put him,
Yeah.
through it was incredible. Incredible. But I couldn't believe how calm he was. He looked so calm, so composed. And that for me has been the difference. He hasn't looked the same in trying to defend his other titles recently. Last night he looked unstoppable.
Do you watch a lot of tennis? Because I get the impression with a lot of players, you're so busy training, playing, that it's not like other sports where I know footballers, for example, soccer players, you play once or twice a week and then every other evening you're probably watching football, but you're doing so many things, traveling, training and stuff. But it sounds like you do like to watch tennis as well.
I do enjoy it. I mean, tennis is, my life, my passion. I love to kick back and watch other sports also, But I do appreciate watching high-level tennis and especially certain guys. And last night was one of those matches where I had a real interest in. So I was hooked. I was watching it on my phone, so I was as close to the screen as I can be,
Yeah.
But I do enjoy watching for sure.
I tuned in for the match afterwards. I think it was Sabalenka against Svitolina, which was also a sensational match. But I mean, so it often depends on where you are and what you're doing. But what about friends on tour? Other players, for example. Are there any? Do you have any other fellow player friends, and who might they be? Who you're closest to?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, the thing is with tour, we spend all year, around the same guys, week in, week out. So, I mean, for sure I have a lot of guys
can you
that's
hang
my
out?
friends.
If you and another player sort of go out early, can you go out on the town in Lisbon or wherever you're at?
Yeah, there's certain players that you would, like for me, it's simple. Do I play someone I play golf with, someone I want to go to dinner with, someone I want to do things outside of, just the regular stuff within a tournament. Those are the guys that I would definitely call my closer friends on tour, for sure.
Tell us about, sorry to bring up again, but that win against Rafa. I mean, tell us about that match. I mean, I think it was 3 sets. I know Rafa was in that moment with his foot. I know it was a lot, but he was still out there giving it his all, and he pushed you hard and you pushed him hard in that match. And just tell us about how that felt to win that one.
Yeah, roller coaster for me also, because just a few days before playing Rafa, I couldn't hit I wasn't even hitting forehands.
Yeah.
So for about a week building up to that match, I was just hitting backhands and working on that. And literally the day of my first match was, I started hitting forehands in the warm-up. We were like, okay, it feels okay. We're going to give it a go. Ended up playing Sangra, and he pulled out because he got hit in the rib playing doubles. Okay. So I was a bit fortunate there. He maybe wasn't at his best, so I kind of snuck through that one. Went on court, started working a little bit more on it. Next day I had to come out face Rafa, which is obviously one of my biggest idols, arguably the biggest name in tennis. And, I knew...
When you were warming up, did you think, I can win this one today?
I mean, from where my situation was, obviously I knew that I'm struggling with something, but I also knew maybe he's not at his best. And I'm just going to give it 200%. I know the crowd's going to be against me.
Yeah.
The whole of Washington was out to, for the night match. And
Does it bother you when the crowd is against you?
No, I actually love it. I love it. Yeah, there's nothing like a good story when you win against the crowd, for sure.
I mean, you've been just played here in Portugal, but I mean, it's not so intimidating.
Yeah.
I saw you at the end, actually, because you got a nice clap at the end, and I saw, and I was thinking, is he going to sort of do the racket tap to sort of thank the people here? It was like 50 or 100 people watching, and you still did it, and there was a few little claps, which was nice, but you don't mind a vociferous crowd.
Absolutely not, but in the end, I thought it was actually a good level match, and lots of ups and downs, from both of us, but in the end, super happy
I mean, you were down in the tiebreak, right? A 5-3, I think you were down in the tie. Today, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so you had a bit of a deficit to make up there. You also were, of course, were down in the second set as well, a break, and you had to get that back as well. So it was a really close, hard-fought match today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 5-3 down in both sets, never easy, but sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes it really doesn't. So.
And the clay, it's not necessarily a surface I would associate you with, but I mean, how do you feel about this part of the season?
Yeah, I enjoy the clay court season. I mean, I really enjoy some of the clay court events, some of my favorite ones, especially Roland Garros. I've really enjoyed playing there, had some decent results there. So looking forward to it. It's my first week this week on clay. So yeah, it's always presents a new challenge and a different way of thinking and playing a little bit, but I really do enjoy it, and hopefully we can make the best of that.
How's the body right now? I mean, you've had so many injuries over the years. Are you feeling as good as you've ever done, or is there any niggles you've got right now?
I mean, if I don't have niggles, I'm probably, not around anymore.
Okay.
So always something, but I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I feel like I'm moving well. I feel feeling well out there. So I'm as healthy as I can be. Let's just say that.
Couple more things. If, by the way, out there, you do know how tall Lloyd is, do let us know in the comments section below this video. But actually, finally, Lloyd, I just want you to do one more thing. I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to say, "My name is Lloyd Harris, and I am a friend of the show."
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect. Lloyd? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.